El Guajiro Podcast Show. Ami la biga. My peeps, I have just a guy for you. This individual, Matthew Palmazano, con tremendo 10-inch penis, and he only dates black girls. Oh.
Nice.
I have a military background. Then I served as a police officer protecting the community, chasing down threats. But beyond the badges in the battlefield, I've always felt something deeper, a connection to the wild. Now I spend my time in the outdoors fishing calm waters, hunting in daylight, tracking through the night, and diving deep to catch lobsters beneath the surface. This is not just something I do. This is my world. And if you're ready to experience the wild with me, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe.
Dale. Oi, Matthew Palmazano.
Good to be here, man. Good to be here.
Oh, yeah. The man, the myth, the legend. You ladies, be careful with this, man. But it's good to see you, man.
It's always good to see you, man. I was thinking about on the way down here. Like, I've known you for more than half my life.
Yeah, bro. It's been many years.
22.
Yeah.
22
We've
years.
been through. We went to hell and we took around the walk around the block a few times. Yeah. I know I remember that where I met you was Marine Corps Ball, 2003. You showed up with a black girlfriend. And everybody was in like, what?
Johnson was singing Jungle Fever to me.
Yeah.
All night.
And you got her pregnant that day, bro.
Yeah, that's where my oldest came from, the Marine Corps Ball.
You crazy son of a, you know what? Question. How many kids do you have?
Just had my 5th. Just got my tattoo
5th.
done. Baby is 10 days old. Something like that.
Damn. Cheers to that, bro. Cheers to family, because at the end of the day, you're my brother, bro.
Amen, bro.
Matthew. So, in the Marines, just so people know, the last name was Palmazano. So it was only rightfully so Sergeant Padmore gave this individual the nickname of Cheese. And that's it.
To the point that I was called Cheese so much that there was several times they couldn't find like records, and I'd
Yeah.
be like, "Look under C."
Cheese. Cheese
Doc
dingo.
found my records under C. Gene yelled it. I think it was Boren said something in Iraq one time. Something happened, and Boren yelled over the radio, "Cheese, you okay?"
Yeah.
And Gene's like, "No names over the radio." And I was like, "My name's not
My
Cheese."
name's not Cheese,
In the
bro.
middle of a firefight, I'm like, "My name's not Cheese."
Yeah, everybody had their little nickname. Mine was Zulu, which was what
Zulu.
led me to open up Zulu Armory. But yeah, yours was an easy one that rolled off the tongue easy, like cheese. It fit your personality, bro. What
right,
high
that's
school
right.
did you go to?
I graduated. It was the first graduating class from Coral Springs Charter School.
Coral Springs. Charter schools usually got good reputations, and the schools up there in Broward, they're top notch.
It was it's a really good school now. I had some great teachers. It was at the time charter schools were kind of an experiment.
What was like your passion while you were there? What classes did you like look forward to? What electives were like your? For me, it was like wood shop or gym class. You know.
So for me, I had there was this one teacher, very influential in my life. If he ever sees this, shout out Mr. Singer.
Mr. Singer.
So Mr. Singer had done very well for himself in life. Retired early, traveled the world for a little bit, and became a teacher. He taught. I took every class he taught in high school. He taught law. He taught yearbook. He taught business. He taught government. He was just all around. He
was passionate about what he did, so it reflected on his connection with people. With students.
For local government, he ran for mayor, and he was we were his
Wow.
campaign staff. Like he was that kind of teacher.
Good.
that
It's good to hear that, man. It's very few. Those are very seldom where they legit teachers. Shout out to all teachers.
Yeah, man, I could never do it.
But there are some that stand above the rest where they legit care and want to make an impact. I have a handful of those teachers, bro.
Yeah, man.
And it's they made a good impact.
And like I said, I should stop by and see him one day. I haven't talked to Singer in years, but that guy made a real impact in my life.
Hopefully he's still alive, because
25
I
years
remember
ago.
in my school, a lot of them, they were older. They're probably not around no
No,
more.
he's still kicking.
I'm an old man.
He was a pretty young guy. I wish him happy birthday every year on Facebook.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I should do more
bro.
than that. I should do more than that.
And what made you join the Marines? Because you went in around the same time as me. You're within the same age as me. So meaning you're right after high school.
Well, so I graduated at 16. I was a little ahead in school. I tried the college thing. I did not like it. I had good grades, but I was failing out of college because I just couldn't.
You'll fool anybody
I
with those
couldn't go.
glasses. No
couldn't
dejen la carita de profesor de vagabundo ahí confuse you people. This guy is not book smart in that aspect back in the days, at least when we were. Why we joined the Marines? That's pretty much it. Shout out. Oi, cheers to the Marine Corps. Hoorah.
Right. So I was in a college class with Sharky Fernandez.
Oh, that explains.
But
you're on special ed, bro.
He was in the Marines and I wasn't.
Yeah.
So he was talking about they had like everybody was doing the first day of class. What did you do that summer?
Yeah.
And he was like, I was blowing stuff up, man.
And Iraq kicking indoors, kicking ass, scratching off
And
names.
then D. Giovanni
Yeah.
was one of my best friends growing up. And he went about 6 months before I did, came back, made it sound so cool. I literally
Yeah,
walked
of
into
course.
recruiter's office, and from the day I first called the recruiter, like 2 weeks later, I was in boot camp.
No, but was there any events or anything in specific that triggered that patriotism, or was it just, hey, my buddies doing, sounds like a good
come
route?
from, and it's funny because my wife's the same. I come from a military family. Everybody kind of did it. But I was,
Yeah, you said your dad.
yeah, my dad was in the military. My uncle was in the military. My wife was in the military. My
Correct.
father-in-law was in the military. My mother-in-law was in the military. My wife,
Can you
my daughter.
say their names? At
I
least
mean,
by last name, I would like to honor them at least. Coño, give them a
Yeah, I
shout out on
mean,
my podcast. Even if one person hears it, and you know what? Shout out to them. They deserve the honor of at least saying their names and what branch they were in.
My dad, Tony Palmisano, was Army.
Tony, you make horrible kids.
My uncle was a Downing. He was in the Marine Corps as well.
Hoorah.
My wife was Navy. My father-in-law, Ben Jones, was like that guy in the Army.
Yeah.
Like Special
Yeah,
Forces,
his
Green
Army role.
Beret, taught at West Point. Like,
So he might as well be a 0311 in the Marine Corps. That's what it equates to, people.
He was that guy. He met at the club on base, the NCO club. He met my mother-in-law, who was in the Air Force, Meyer Jones. My daughter, Nyla Palmisano.
On
she's
the
in
other side of this world
Yeah,
right now, because
she's in
that's where it's
Okinawa
heated
right
up
now.
right now.
Yeah,
La cosa está caliente is what we'll say in Spanish. The things are really, there's a lot of turmoil on the other side of the
she's-
globe right now. And the fact that she's deployed doing her time,
Yeah, I'm super proud, man. I'm super proud. Another
it's in the
generation.
DNA, bro. Hey, you
It's
raised
funny,
her right.
They call her cheese. They call her cheese.
They call her cheese
With
too.
no prompting, she's cheese.
The last name kind of gives it away, bro. Palmasano is his last name. We call him cheese. You know? So you went to boot camp. What month was it in 2003?
January 13th, 2003.
Oh, so you're right there. Yeah, because for me, I landed on the 3rd. Do you remember what company you were in and what?
So you were 3rd Battalion.
I was 3rd Battalion.
So
India.
So 3rd Battalion, I was supposed to be with you. So somebody said to me, 3rd Battalion, oh, they kill people in 3rd Battalion. I didn't know what that meant. I thought people died. And I called my recruiter and I was like, I'm not going, pause. I don't want to go to 3rd Battalion. I don't want to die.
Yeah, they kind of emphasize the PT a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I didn't know.
Sucked. Either way, I'm sure it sucks.
I didn't know kill meant a lot of PT. I thought kill meant people died. So I was supposed to be with you. I postponed it a week and went January 13th.
So you got to see the snow.
Yeah, it was snowing when I got there.
First time we see snow is in South Carolina, Beaufort, South Carolina Marine Corps. And I don't know if it happened to you. Do you remember the day when you first saw snow?
Yeah, we were on the first little physical fitness course we did.
Was it on a PT day?
No, it wasn't a PT day. It was like the first obstacle course we did.
Okay.
It was snowing.
No, I was at attention with my M16 as that fucking snow would hit my face and melt. And you know damn well you couldn't go around and go, oh, my tickle. No, you had to admit out with the A2 front sight post. Hey, fast movement attracts the eye, people. So you had to really slowly move the eighth to front side post to scratch your nose. As the snow was, it fucking sucked.
See, we didn't have our cold weather gear yet. We had literally just got there. So we didn't have our cold weather gear and it was snowing.
Isa, tiny shorts. In the Marine Corps, we would run with the tiniest of
Sophies.
underwear shorts.
Legit Sophie's. Made
And
by
a
Sophie.
little cotton t-shirt. And you'd be outside at 4 o'clock in the morning, snow,
Shivering.
on the floor doing sit-ups and stupid games. You're like, what the fuck am I
Run this
doing
way
with
right
my
now.
life? But at 18 years old, you adapt to it. When you're that young, people think, oh, hey.
I always tell people, like, everybody over 25 in my platoon in boot camp failed.
Yeah.
They all got either dropped or kicked out. Like,
I think what it is, it's in Spanish we call it a mí la pinga syndrome, where you're like, no, yo estoy muy viejo para esta pinga. I'm too old for this shit. I'm not playing these fuck games.
At 18, 19, 20, no matter what you do to me, give me 3 minutes and I'm okay. I can do it again.
Me rajo una pajita
25,
ahí, and I'm back at fucking ready for combat.
Yeah, these guys, like, you make them do something and 5 hours later their back hurt.
Give me your first memory that comes to mind of boot camp. What do you remember?
There's a lot of white people here. I grew up in South Florida. It was heavily black Spanish.
And it's good to be exposed to that.
That was my first thought in boot camp, was looking around and I was like, there's a lot of white people here.
So I liked it because in South Florida, it's very Hispanic and it's seldom you see the right people. So you don't really get to know their pet peeves and certain things that culturally were a little different. And when you go to boot camp and you're forced to intertwine, and the memory I have is on the Crucible. The 3 days, for those listening don't know what the Crucible is, instead of masturbating next time on YouPorn, go look up Google Marine Corps Crucible. All right? It's 3 days of fuck games. I'm going to say that language because that's all it really is, right?
Very little sleep, very little food.
You don't sleep. You have these 3 MREs that are supposed to last you 3 days, and it's you hump over 50 miles. And I remember the small window of sleeping time. It was a Vietnamese guy. Fuck, he was ugly, bro. Ugly, right? I don't care if my channel gets banned. I'm just being 100. The guy was ugly as shit. But I remember me and him shared the hut, so we slept together.
Okay.
And don't take that out of context. We shared that little cover so that we didn't get snowed on or nothing. And that little cock-sucking son of a bitch, and I'm saying this, I don't care, I'm letting that being out there, would have the moonbeam on and eat his fucking Skittles at like 2 in the morning. I'm like, motherfucker, you're not sleeping, you're tired as fuck.
2 hours, man.
You know what that motherfucker told me? You want some? I was like, this son of a bitch. Nicest guy, bro. So obviously I never said anything or didn't do anything. He was a nice guy. Fuck me, bro. And he had the fucking little, you remember the glasses they would give you a boot camp?
The portholes.
Oh my God.
I still have mine somewhere. Listen, you can get Brad Pitt, put him in camis, and put him in a set of those glasses. Ugliest guy. That's it. Nobody even know who he is. They used to call them portholes, but they also called them birth controls.
Yes, bro.
Birth controls. If you wore those glasses, you were not in danger of getting laid.
Oh, bro. So, what do you do now for work?
I'm director of operations or overhead director of operations for a small power company. We sub out for the local utility.
Okay.
I can't believe they let me be in charge of the stuff I'm in charge of, but I find it very interesting.
You bring a lot to the table with the maturity, life experience that you have. And you've been doing it for a while. How many years?
I've been doing that for 10 years. I've been in construction management in some aspect for 16 years now.
Have you pursued any more schooling?
I've done a lot of like certifications online. Some of them are more practical than others.
All right, but you're very accomplished at this point. Like
I've done a lot of PTSD and
from knowing you and who you were. Because remember, we still were together for a while before we even deployed.
Yeah.
But the kids we were.
Oh yeah.
To see now who you are, the experience you bring to the table, the family man that you are. You've been great to your kids. You know, you talk nothing but great things about your wife and her family. That I'm proud. I'm proud to see how some of us that are still here, we're actually doing all right.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of guys from our unit that it's amazing to watch And I mean, some of
Yeah.
them I'm closer to than others, but you know, you're friends with all of them on social
but
media.
we're all still brothers. I tell you what, you call anybody from the scout platoon at whatever time, they'll pick up and be like, "What's up? What you need?"
Yeah. It's crazy to see.
Go
the
to your phone
ones
and pick
who-
a random. Oh, yeah, we could pick a random buddy of ours from the Marines that went to Iraq with us at 3 a.m. I'm gonna call, bing, Padmore. I guarantee you, he's gonna call me a couple of you goose cock sucking sada pizza, all these names. He was Trinidadian. I guarantee you that guy will pick up. So that is the best thing, and I think we learned that lesson after Ski passed.
Yeah, man.
After Ski took his life, we all realized we got to stick together on this.
Yeah, that was one of the
Eye-openers.
hardest things. I knew he was. I had been talking to him off and on.
That's what kills me too, bro. The
And-
signs were there, and it's
Yeah,
like, fuck.
exactly. Like I should have known, but I didn't have any way to know because it was the first time I dealt with that.
Which is why, remember I told you, when you get to like 40 is when that certain level of zen
Yeah.
and maturity kick in, because all these life experiences and intel that your computer, internal ECU, generates, now we know because of him passing and him getting to that point, you know.
Yeah, you know what to look out for. in
We
other
know what to
people.
look out for.
Yeah.
For those watching on the YouTube, it's a good friend of ours. Amazing guy. I wish that everybody can one day experience what it's like having a friend like Laskowski. And after we got back from Iraq, shortly after, he took his life. And, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's unfortunate. But because of that, we each were able to heal each other and knowing what to look out for, what we could do to help each
Yeah,
other.
I always say Ski was like everybody in the platoon's best friend.
He was, bro.
Like, I'm curious. I said that to somebody a couple years ago, man. I was talking about Ski, and I was like, I would give anything to go back and ask Ski who Ski's best friend was. Because
Yeah.
like, it's like half the platoon, if you ask them, Ski
You
was their
want to
best
know,
friend.
and that was his downfall.
so?
I'm not gonna say no names or try to be as vague as I can, but he is that person to extent where that family member of his all of a sudden
Yeah.
moved.
Yeah.
Oh, you got back from the war, you got money, and that person had a little bit of a
Yes.
real drug problem, and he
was-
liked to satisfy people and be the yes man so much
Was heating
that
up his
that
soup.
took him to a path where it just, with coming back from Iraq and that, no bueno.
So I was at Ski's house one night, and Ski asked me to come over because we didn't live that far apart at the time. And Ski asked me to come over. He needed to confront that person. So we go into the person's room, and we found a bunch of burned spoons. And his legitimate, with a straight face and like very heartfelt, he's like, no, it's not drugs, man. I was just heating up my soup. One bite
Listen,
at
the
a
guy's
time.
a POS is what I'm gonna call it. So, yeah,
That was, but yeah, man, it's weird to. I think about Ski a lot, man.
that's why I decided to go this route and do this. You know, like this one, for example, it's in English because your main language is English. But I would love to interview other veterans too and try to do Spanish, because there are a lot of Latino veterans that they hold it back even more because they don't feel this doesn't get talked about in Spanish.
Yeah.
It's looked like a weakness. So I need some help or I need some guidance.
Well, when I've spoken at other veterans things, or even non-military related things, just on as I've got a lot of certifications in PTSD and trauma
Mental
therapy
health in
and
general,
mental
yeah.
health, and yeah, I've tried to help people. And this is my opinion. This is completely anecdotal. But one thing I've just seen first with myself, and then once I realized it in myself, I started seeing it in other people, is we play this game of like, I don't deserve to feel it because mine wasn't as bad as that person.
Correct.
So like, there was people in our own platoon who saw much worse stuff than I did.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I deserve to be traumatized.
Hey, but time out. Time out. I'm gonna skull fuck you right now.
Oh dear.
Imagine back in the days, like the Vikings or some shit, where the people went to battle, metiéndole an
Yeah.
hatch.
Well,
Hatcheting somebody to death. That's how they took the life, right? Or your buddy got hatcheted or with a sword, or the samurais And those people didn't cry about PTSD back in those days. There was none of that. They went to battle the next day and the week after that. And it was like, so when we as a warrior mentality see that, we're like, oh, times evolve, you know?
Yeah. But it's like I tell people,
Our morals change a little bit.
Everybody can play that game to a certain extent of someone had it worse than me.
Correct.
But the worst thing that happened to you is the worst thing that happened to you.
Yeah.
It's your trauma, right? So at some point, and you have to be like man enough and grown enough to like deal with that
And accept it.
Yeah, and because otherwise it starts bleeding over into your family life.
Right. The denial is where, yeah,
and that's once you're willing to deal with that. I think that's where growth comes, and then you gotta be willing. And we talk about it a lot in veteran circles, right? But we don't. You gotta have somebody who's been there and done that you can talk to.
But that will come the day you authentically want to help.
Agreed.
There's a lot of
Amen.
people,
Amen.
They'll put this social media life out there, okay, everything's perfect, we're Gucci, look at me, the Rolex, and they're struggling financially. Yeah. Where if that person legit came out, and even on social media, I freaking dare somebody, oh yeah, I'm struggling financially, this is the situation I got going on, I'm showing the best face I can, and trying to be a good citizen, trying to be a good father, this is what I got. I guarantee you somebody will freaking come out there and be like, yo, I got a job for you. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can send you a little donation. Like the internet and your friends too. If I came to you, oh yeah, you know, if they're hiring, I'm struggling financially, I'm looking for work. You're going to be like, now that you've told me this, I'm going to keep an eye out because even if my place ain't hiring, I might be able to make some phone calls.
Somebody.
If you're having your PTSD symptoms where your anxiety is through the roof, causing you to be, you know, violent to your wife, your kids, or you're seeing these problems, if you don't tell your boys and be 100% authentic, nobody will be able to know and be able to help you.
Yeah, and then you have to be willing to take your healing journey.
Mm-hmm.
When I speak to younger crowds, right, something I'm real adamant on is the younger generation is much better than our generation, but especially the generations before us at being willing to talk about, you know, I have this disorder or I have this trauma. Correct. Whether it's professionally diagnosed or self-diagnosed, which is its own issue. But a lot of times it stops there. Yeah. They're like, I have PTSD. And then it stops there internally, and they expect the world to change for them. And PTSD
isn't just like one thing. It's an umbrella.
Agreed.
Of illnesses that we're not going to dive that much more into it because, you know, I'm going to try to add some links on the podcast if anybody needs help. You know, you need somebody to talk to. Hey, even shoot me a message down here. I'll answer you. As long as it's a message on social media, on TikTok, and all these people send me reels and reels and reels. Papa, there's too many reels. I don't look at that shit. But if you send me a legit message, I answer to everybody.
That's awesome, man.
But I want to show you something.
Oh, dear.
I'm going to show you a picture, right? And is there a way you can identify what this picture is? Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is a picture of?
Is that the FOB?
That is a forward operating base that we lived in.
That's the FOB. Yeah, the picture's got a tiny. But yeah,
it was a.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it from the air before.
Yeah,
yeah, that's
why I was like, dude, I don't know if you'll be able to identify it, but you can see where we slept.
Yeah, that's
where we did our post, Looters Gate, the entrance, exit,
CMOC.
Yeah. Listen, that is an aerial shot from 2005, Fallujah, Iraq, compound. We set up a stronghold in Iraq called the Mayor's Complex. So,
wow, man,
that was it was no electricity, no running water, none of that
electricity.
Shit.
We stole a generator from the army.
We did. We
had electricity.
We can say no, I ain't no fucks to give. We eventually. First time you saw cold water, when was it?
Somebody got a refrigerator. So me and Ski got a freezer actually, and so I
remember. Listen, back then a refrigerator over there was like $100, and for us it might as well have costed $1 million. We would have paid it, but we're like, dolly.
So me and Ski got to go back to the rear. First. It was me, Ski, Padmore, and somebody else. I forget who the fourth person was. And Ski bought a refrigerator.
Yeah, but after we had the generator. Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, we like carried it all the way back.
Yeah.
We probably carried that refrigerator for miles.
Dude. Good times, man.
I didn't remember. I haven't thought about that in 20 years, man.
And you know what's funny? People probably think us that we were in Iraq, the hostile zone, and all this shit. And people think it's all cool, right? So I don't know about you. I don't feel like it was cool. Like, to me, it was just like, Isa, do you have that little clip? I got a little clip I'm going to show you guys. If you're on YouTube and stuff, you can't see it, but this is what people assume that it's like, right? You got your surroundings, your 50 cal machine gun.
The camionetti.
That was the Archangel post above the entrance and exit.
There's shots being fired right now.
You can hear the firefight going on.
Do you hear him?
So it was the firefights in the middle of the night with MPGs, and people think it's all tactical. Going on foot patrols while we were there. Oi! I don't know about you, but I walked a couple of miles down those streets. You know, Alaman got me lost.
The streets weren't as bad as the alleys, man. Some of them buildings.
Yeah, with trash and everything, yeah.
The buildings were so close together. You're walking down the alley, and that was terrifying.
And people think it's all that cool shit, right?
No.
But I'm going to show you guys legit what it's like. Check this out.
And the blue eyes. No wonder
Shout
why
out, boy.
Otto likes you so much.
That's the dumb shit we would do.
Oh God. Boris. Chris. Habibi.
They got he quit.
Habibi.
The fish locked? Can you
Give us a short class on Arabic. Like stuff like
Yeah, this morning it
take
was.
this American infidel.
Coca-Cola. I can zoom with the scanner. Oh, hell yeah.
I was voted sexiest man in the Middle
I have
East.
no idea what the fuck that says.
I can read Arabic. It says
Yes.
Coca-Cola.
That Coke can
Exactly.
is
Don't
up there,
listen
by
to
the way.
Polish
I have
guy.
it back there behind the Pepsi one.
Senior
Don't
actually have that
listen to
can.
Polish guys. He loses wars.
Oh, that's the shenanigans that truly happened.
We were also skinny.
We were. Did you? Yeah. And I remember with the flak jacket, you had the Benelli shotgun for a while.
Yeah.
That was a shitty sling, so it would drag to your knuckles of your feet.
I love my Benelli, man. That thing was awesome.
Because we did 8 hours of post, 8 hours of foot patrol, or whatever fuck working parties we had, and it was 8 hours of sleep. But those 8 hours of sleeps were those
That
dumb
was your
moments.
whole time off. So me and Cook watched the every single episode of Stargate on a little like 3-inch DVD player.
Yeah, it was a DVD player, battery packed, and then you would flip it, and that's what we would watch the porn from too. Like, oh hey, did you ever jerk off on post?
I mean, I would think that anyone who tells you that they didn't would be.
But
lying.
yeah, I didn't ask anybody else. Stop trying. I asked you. Who was your favorite pub?
Jossam.
Jossam. So Pab is the Iraqi police.
Jossam.
The Iraqi soldiers that they had partnered up with us. This was my favorite. I don't know if you remember Sabah.
Yes.
You remember Sabah?
Shesmek,
Mr. Karim.
Mr. Karim,
Yes,
you have small penis?
yes.
Hi.
I have small penis.
Shoot.
I have small penis.
Shukran.
Ay, Sabah. That
Shesmek,
was funny as fuck. Hey, and did you ever fall asleep on post?
I would make sure that before I did, I set up an exquisite SOG trap.
Me too, bro. I remember even the Pobs would fall asleep. I have a little picture there. We got one.
The Pops would go to sleep the whole time.
Yeah, they didn't give a shit. I remember there was one firefight in the entrance where eventually they showed up, but they were like way behind to where they're uncomfortably behind you.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I might get shot at from both ends.
Yeah, don't start shooting.
No, you're not involved. You're out of play, damn it. If we get into a firefight, you're not shooting. I legit remember having to tell one of them, no, from there, no.
Yeah,
That's how much of a coward they were.
It was interesting that whenever like the firefight would happen, they would all conveniently disappear.
Yeah.
I was just in the bunker with one of you. Where'd you go?
Hey, at Cheese, don't let him fool you, bro. He was cool. You were cool Cheese. That's what we knew you as. Cool Cheese. There he is, smoking a cigar. He would do the hookah as well. I remember.
Oh, yeah, my nargile. I still have that.
Yeah.
It's in my...
And there you are, being a dumb motherfucker with an RPG.
I've never seen that picture before.
Oh my God, bro.
Who was that, born with the RPG?
No, I think it was this guy, Ski's favorite, Dugan.
Dugan.
I think it was Dugan holding that RPG to your question of the day.
Okay.
Is actually, can you identify what incident transpired in this image? No, hold on. Do you know what the hell happened in that scenario?
Hector said it was an IED down the road. That's what Hector said.
Sure enough.
And then Gene told him that he was staring at a hole in the building.
Sure enough, our dear friend fell asleep on post, which is why we discussed this. Like, everybody fell asleep, but this guy got lucky.
Yeah.
They shot an RPG on him, still fell asleep through it. He didn't wake up. Eventually, the sergeant and guard, whatever we call them,
SOG. Yeah.
SOG, it's like, yo, they're saying the building got impacted by something, and he woke up because of...
And he was adamant. He was like, no, it's an IED,
Nah,
like
it
blocks
wasn't-
away. Blocks away.
It was a car bomb.
Way down there. Everything's fine.
I'm looking at the mushroom cloud. Nah. They shot an RPG like 2 stories under him. Almost fucking
Yeah,
took
hit
him
the
out.
building like maybe like 15 feet below him.
Oh my
Slept through the
God,
whole
he
thing.
was a lucky mother. We were driving once and he was my guide. Remember, we were maps back then.
Mm-hmm.
He got me lost in Fallujah. It was just me and him in the truck. I was like, you mother effer. You better figure out how we get back. I think we did enough laps too. Eventually, we found our
I
compound.
love you, Hector. I tried to fight Alamon one day, and Alamon got like 50 pounds
Yeah,
on me.
but
He would have
nah,
killed me.
he's
And
good peeps.
He just like calmed me down. He was like,
Nah, he's good peeps, bro.
yeah, no, for real.
Hey, what's your favorite memory from being over there?
So favorite memory was probably, so you remember after we got done at the FOB, we went back and they told us we were going to go home.
Yeah.
Right? And then we didn't end up going home. We went out to that like old tank mechanic.
I enjoyed
place.
that place. Yeah, Camp Smitty, I think it was called.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah.
But it like we made
Nothing.
a volleyball net and we started playing
We
volleyball with an old
legit
soccer
had
ball. We made a
time
gym
to chill.
We made a gym out of the pieces of a tank. That was a weird
out of like an airplane hangar that was in the
Yeah.
middle of the desert or nowhere,
It should have been the worst part.
and it was the best.
But yeah, we really like made the best of it, and that was cool memories.
And I remember we didn't have working parties anymore. We didn't have none of that. I was like, we can get used to this. Dangerous pay, because in boot camp, how much money did you make in boot camp?
I don't know. I came home with like $1,500, $1,200 maybe.
For the whole 3
For the whole
months.
3 months,
For
yeah.
the whole 3 months.
I
And you
didn't
were
realize
happy.
they were charging me for all that stuff.
Hey, but you were happy. You were like, yeah, I made $1,500 in 3 months. And at the end of the day, you're getting now dangerous pay, overseas pay, and you got all that. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to buy a house when I get back. Only to figure out the housing market had blown the frick up in 2005 when we got back in November. I was like, I'm going to buy a motorcycle, sports car, fish tank with sharks in it, and strippers.
Buying strippers.
I'm enjoying this shit. It was a $200,000 house was $800-900. So
yeah, we had a lot of guys not spend their money well when we came back. But
so changing the topic a little bit. We went hunting not that long ago.
yes, beautiful place. Is it
Yeah.
called Brady Ranch.
Let me show some of these people a little clip of what's about to come, what we're going to talk about. So I have a little intro there with a little bit of music. Hopefully Issa did a good job. Does it have audio or not? It does? Oh, my girl Issa on point. Look at that. We're looking professional now. It wasn't that hot.
No, it was beautiful that day.
It was. Shout out to Atlantic Marine. I had a couple other sponsors. You got Smith Optics, the Brady Ranch, and they're like, yo, let's take 2 veterans out. They covered all the costs, and that's why I was able to take you and that Navy veteran. Forgot his name.
Good people.
Yeah, he was real good people. He was a morale booster in the Navy. Someone que te rajaba la yuca. Nah, very good people. And the ranch, bro, mesmerizing. Highly recommend the Brady Ranch, man. Everybody trying to get on a hunt.
Yeah, that's by far the most beautiful place I've ever hunted.
Scenic, everything. I mean, and they'll see now a little glimpse of what's to come. Because, dude, that place was no joke. Isa, you mind updating my dry erase board? My girl. Call her my content operations manager, but it sounds dirty. And she's like super religious. So I'm like, I'm gonna piss her off. Got this. Hey, talk to me, bro. How do you feel when we got there? Were you nervous? Were you anxious? Were you...
To Iraq?
No, the
Brady
fucking
Ranch?
hunting, the Brady Ranch.
Oh, no. I mean, I was... So I've been boar hunting before.
Uh-huh.
But nothing like that. Like that place was gorgeous.
It felt more
And
natural.
I mean, they got the antelope running over here and the axis deer over here and like I had just Googled it before we went and I was like cattle ranch. I don't know what kind of cattle those were. Those are the most beautiful.
Lot of acreage to where they have that place just like a natural paradise.
They have like a literal airfield in the middle of their ranch. It's fantastic. Me and a couple of my friends are going to go out there and hunt some axis deer next year.
Yeah, their axis deer were very nice.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
I know that when we went, we ended up having you and this gentleman set up on the tree stand. And it was like the night before, we had already thrown the feed.
Yeah, he was set up.
So we kind of, to have an idea, it was about 100-yard, 125-yard shot. We get there. But the thing is, with my sponsors and everything, I had paid for 2 of them. Okay? I don't know what she was trying to tell me. But, that what? To give you 5 minutes? I got to give her 5 minutes. Because we are having a technical malfunction. But I'm going to keep rolling. We ain't stopping this. We're going to talk shit.
Okay.
Because we can put the videos later on. It was one hog decided to show up.
Yeah, for a long time there was
one. You remember that?
One and some babies.
No, but the way it truly was, whenever Isa's ready to hit B, she'll let me know. But it's this one hog, and I remember it was brown, and it was a good size, right? And I kept saying, hey, we got to wait for 2 of them so you could both shoot. Because if one shoots, nothing else is going to come by here for the rest of the day. So then we technically brought 2 veterans out here for no reason. So stand by. And then I want to say it was about a good 30 minutes later. Oh, these little like a freaking bus. A bus showed up with piglets and dropped them off. That's what it was. Yeah. So I got a little video here I could probably pull up. And I don't know if you can see it from there. It's the first pig that pops up. It's good size. That had to have been 100 plus. And then all those little piglets decided to freaking join the party. We're like, no,
Daycare.
Damn it. And he didn't want a piglet. So we're like, nah, we got to wait it out. Dude, and you were like, I don't know this Navy guy. Give me the green light. Take it out. You never took your eye off that scope. And he's like, screw this guy. I'm going to pull the trigger before him. He's going home empty-handed.
The guide came through, though. The guide came through.
No, well listen. We'll get to that. We'll touch that now in a few minutes. My dear friend Isa is working on number 2, which is going to be number C. Is it up? Well, so when we get to C, we're going to eventually touch the topic that those babies left and we were stuck with nothing in that field for a while.
For like an hour. Yep. And then all of a sudden, boom, this guy showed up.
We're talking about like 2 hours later after that one got away and we were second guessing ourselves. Coño, we should have shot it. Now we might be empty-handed for the rest of the day. And now you're like, let's not make that same mistake again. And what did I keep telling you guys? Shh. Be patient. Be patient. So you remember that pig.
Yeah.
And then what happened shortly thereafter?
I mean, shortly after the party showed up, the party started.
Boom, another one. Oh, and right there, you guys were already talking. And I'm like, dude, give it a second. They just started eating. It won't hurt. Give it a second. You were like, oh man, this guy's gonna drive me crazy. You gotta let me shoot. Boom. Se formó mucho. That shit got packed real quick.
So many pigs showed up, I started to get nervous because I was like, how do I get just one of them?
And I said, stand by, stand by. And then this was too cool for me not to post. It got so much of a party. We had people, the pigs. Boy, they started going at it. It's a couple of wild hogs having sex while we were hunting. It's hilarious.
And then that other black one came over and tried to,
I posted
turn it into a party.
He was like, yo, what's going on? Susana, is that you?
Yeah, man.
It was another male cock blocking. That's exactly what happened.
He wasn't happy about it.
And then how majestic was that moment?
That was
How majestic was that?
so many of them, man. I never
beautiful.
seen that many deer in one spot in my life.
It was beautiful, bro.
Just coming out of everywhere.
And then, you were like, screw it. Boom, you took your shot. You took your pig down. Hold on. Go replay that one again, Isa. Started from scratch. His gun ended up having the malfunction.
Yes.
But he ended up getting lucky. Some pigs came running from the side after hearing the gunshot, but they ran towards us. He ended up changing the position and...
We were all scrambling around in that little stand.
Boom! He took him out. Boom, right there. You could clearly see the shot where he went down. So we were fortunate that you both got one.
Yeah.
There he is loading it up in the back of the truck, the tusks, Saeed showing off. And that?
Yeah, it was a good day, man. Good day.
It was, but I'm glad it worked out with highs and lows where we enjoyed the day.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, you win. Like some of these other ranches, you go and it's just a butcher shop.
Yeah, the first couple times I ever went boar hunting, I felt like all I did was go and execute a pig. It didn't feel like hunting. It didn't feel. So that was a good experience.
I'd rather run the risk of I didn't catch anything. I went out, I gave it my best effort, did my homework to try to harvest a wild hog or whatever. But shout out to all my sponsors for making it possible where I could take out those two veterans hunting. They covered the cost. Brady Ranch, Atlantic Marine, Smith Optics, and I got a couple other ones. And I want to know so I can prove to my audience how good of a shot you truly were. Because the rifle you shot that day was one of mine. Mm-hmm. Him too. He just didn't know how to handle the lever action. That was on him. But it was a good gun already with the precision down packed and everything. But I want to show my peeps how good you are in my shooter's gauntlet. All right? So give me a second. We're going to check out that video. There's no alibis. Figure this out. It's up to you. And you should be embarrassed to call yourself a damn Marine, my friend.
The double feed threw me off, man. No excuses.
Your OODA loop went to shit. Your tactical training and discipline went out the window.
No, I let everybody down, man. Should have joined the Air Force.
I had a civilian shoot after you today, and he did better than you.
Yeah,
that guy sucked. He didn't even know how to put the gun on safe.
Yeah, he literally,
my friend.
He literally couldn't make the gun fire and then shot better than me.
And he fired better than my homeboy, bro.
I was a tow gunner, man. I shoot missiles, not rifles.
Yeah, but then when we went to scouts, you know,
that's fair.
at least you didn't shoot your face off with the 50 cal Barrett by still pointing it down range.
Shout out Carnegie.
K-Dog. Oh, hey, thank you for being a guest on my podcast. You are my brother. Thank you so much.
To my enemies' enemies.
Yeah. Let's be friends. Oh, hey. Every Monday, I'm going to try to pump out one of these shows, change it up a bit. This just happened to be one of the veterans. Sometimes we focus more about hunting, fishing, and military, but it is what it is. I'm going to keep them out. Give me some feedback. Make sure you comment down there in my section so I can boost on my goddamn algorithm, people, and I can afford to do these more often. Cheers.